Welcome back, guys, to another End Time Signs video. There are definitely some strange things happening around the world in 2020. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and of course, a massive thank you to my supporters, my channel members, and Patreons. It means so much to me that you guys actually like my work that much. You guys really are a huge part of this channel, and I just want you guys to know that. Oh, before we begin, if you guys could please remember to give the video a quick like, it really helps the video perform, and also please leave a comment down below. I'm always curious to read them. Well, most of them anyway. Jerusalem, Tower of David is being restored, guys. Israel is taking the opportunity with no tourists in town to do restoration work on a number of tourist hotspots. One of the largest projects is the restoration of Jerusalem's Tower of David. A whopping $40 million has been budgeted for the renovation and expansion of the museum housed in the historical structure, and the Israel Antiquities Authority is overseeing excavations being carried out as part of the process. The renovation and conservation project aims to preserve and beautify the citadel and the archaeological park. At the same time, the exhibition area will be doubled to 20,000 square meters with a new visitor center featuring barrier-free access, a cafe, and an additional toilet facility. Oh, how nice. There will be 7 new galleries. I don't really know why they had to mention the stunning new toilet, but I guess they felt like they had to include that. The additional exhibition rooms are accessed by 2 elevators. The old citadel will then be accessible to everyone. The history of Jerusalem is brought to life in a multi-sensory manner through many new finds. Significant Roman Byzantine buildings have already been discovered below the Jaffa Gate Square, the primary entrance to the old city. A promenade lined with archaeological finds will guide visitors from the new museum entrance to the educational complex and also connect to the parking garage below the adjacent Mila Shopping Center. I don't even like saying this word because of the Google listening bots and stuff, but you guys know what I'm talking about. China pushing for a global COVID QR code to track travel and limit exposure to the C virus. Chinese President Xi Jinping wants other nations to adopt a C virus tracking system that uses QR codes to track travel during the pandemic. It's a shame that I have to say stuff like that because of this, the scrutiny and watchful eye of Big Brother YouTube. Speaking at the virtual G20 Leaders Summit Saturday, Xing said that nations need to harmonize policies to track those infected with the C virus, according to a transcript of Xing's speech from a state-run news agency in Xinhua. China has proposed a global mechanism on the mutual recognition of health certificates based on nucleic acid test results in the form of internationally accepted QR codes, Xing said, according to Xinhua. Yeah, that doesn't sound Marky of the Beastie. Global QR codes. We hope more countries will join this mechanism. We also support the G20 in carrying out institutionalized cooperation and building global cooperation networks to facilitate the flow of personnel and goods. China introduced the use of QR-based health certificates earlier this year, according to CNN. The system uses a QR code to store data on a person's travel and health history, according to the same report. The software also designates a color to each person that dictates whether they should be quarantined or allowed out in public spaces, according to the New York Times. Well, how lovely is that, eh, guys? Here's something I found related to that story. Google is also launching a tool to help the government officials track people's movements amid this virus pandemic. So people sign up through the wallet app, Alipay, and are assigned either green, yellow, or red, although it's unclear what each color specifically means, according again to the New York Times. The New York Times found that once a user grants the software access to their personal data, the report info and location to police part of the program reportedly sends a person's location, city name, and identifying code number to a server, but users are reportedly not aware that the app is connected to the police. Did China adopt flesh-rotting war tactics from the Book of Zechariah? And they shall be the plague with which the Lord will strike the peoples that wage war against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they are still standing on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongues will rot in their mouths. Zechariah 14:12. A smoldering mountaintop conflict between two nuclear-armed nations turned apocalyptic, with claims that China used a never-before-used non-lethal weapon that cooks its victims from the inside out. The confrontation in the Himalayas took a disturbing turn this week when India accused China of using microwave weapons against its soldiers. You know, when I first heard the story, guys, I thought it didn't sound too bad. Like, no one got killed, what's the big deal? But the more I think about it, the more weird and just messed up it actually sounds, like, when you think about what these things do. So the Himalayas section of the 2,000-mile border between India and China, the two largest countries in Asia, has been a source of contention between the two countries since the Sino-Indian War ended in 1962, but has heated up in recent months, turning bloody in September when clashes involving up to 900 soldiers left 20 of their soldiers dead. China refused to release data on the conflict. The two countries have in recent months deployed tens of thousands of troops on the border between India's Ladakh region and the Chinese-held Tibetan Plateau. Last week, Xin Canrong, a professor of international relations, gave a lecture at Beijing-based Renmin University in which he claimed that China had used microwaves on August 29th to target two hilltops to end a month-long standoff, forcing the Indian soldiers to flee without firing a shot. Canrong claimed this solution allowed a Chinese victory without violating the ceasefire agreement that prohibited live fire. Canrong claimed that within 15 minutes of the weapons being deployed, those occupying the hilltops all began to vomit. They couldn't stand up, so they fled, he claimed. This was how we retook the ground. The professor claimed the microwave weapons cooked the tissue of enemy troops, turned the mountaintops into a microwave oven. We didn't publicize it because we solved the problem beautifully, he said. And they, being India, didn't publicize it either because they lost so miserably. Indian officials responded to the report on Tuesday, claiming that China is spreading fake news. The use of non-conventional weapons is deeply concerning as both India and China have nuclear weapons, guys, so this is like a big deal. It's pure and poor psyops from China, the Indian government said in a statement responding to the claim, noting that their military remained in control of the hilltops that were captured in June. Non-lethal, deployed but never used. Initially designed for non-lethal crowd control, microwave systems work by heating the water under the skin to painful temperatures which force people out of the area. Using a similar principle to a microwave oven, it incites movement in the fat and water molecules located just below the skin's surface, making the target feel like they are burning from the inside. As soon as the target steps away from the ray, the pain ceases, purportedly leaving no damage to nerve endings and blood vessels, which are located deeper below the epidermis. Yeah, so they say. We'll see what happens to these guys in like 3 years from now. U.S. Air Force tests new B-6112 nuclear gravity bomb with an F-35A jet. The U.S. Air Force, in cooperation with Sandia National Laboratories, has successfully completed a round of flight tests integrating the new B-6112 nuclear gravity bomb onto the F-35A Joint Strike Fighter. Though the test took place over the Tonopah Test Range at the Nevada Test and Training Range on August 25th, the video of the test was only declassified on Monday. The rare video footage showed the release of an inert version of the bomb from the stealth fighter's internal bomb bay from about 10,500 feet as the jet flew faster than the speed of sound. The bomb, which contained non-nuclear and mock nuclear components, struck the desert floor at the designated target area 42 seconds later. We successfully executed this historic first-ever F-35A flight test at Tonopah Test Range within the specified delivery criteria, Range Manager Brian Atkins was quoted as saying. At 12 feet long and with an approximate weight of 374 kilograms, the bomb can fit inside the internal weapons bay of the platforms, meaning that the F-35 would not sacrifice its stealth capabilities by carrying it. The B-6112, which carries a low-yield nuclear warhead, has 4 yield options: 0.3 kilotons, 1.5 kilotons, 10 kilotons, and 50 kilotons? Oh my. Just to give you guys some idea of how big a 50 kiloton nuclear warhead is, I believe the bomb dropped on Hiroshima was 15 kilotons, 1-5. And this thing says this F-35 jet is capable of dropping a 50 kiloton nuke. That is huge, guys. It uses an inertial navigation system and has an accuracy of approximately 30 meters. The test was part of a series of B-6112 full weapon systems demonstrations that also included the F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jet in March and the B-2 Spirit bomber in July. The August test was the first demonstration of the bomb from an internal bomb bay on a fighter jet and the first release of the B-6112 at speeds of Mach 1 or greater. Wars and rumors of wars, guys. Why has the US sent B-52s back to the Middle East? American B-52s, the massive strategic bombers, arrived in the Middle East on Saturday. They are part of the 5th Bomb Wing at Minot AFB in North Dakota. These veteran giant aircraft were last deployed in the region in May 2019, and the U.S. Central Command says they are here to deter aggression and reassure U.S. partners and allies. Oh, that's why they're there. So be good or we'll drop 2,000 bombs on you. A good deterrent. The B-52s have been sent to the region as the U.S. appears to be drawing down forces in Iraq. The Pentagon has said that hundreds of troops are leaving Iraq and Afghanistan. As the U.S. seeks to end 20 years of involvement in Afghanistan, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with Taliban officials this weekend, an interesting change of U.S. policy from years ago when the U.S. was at war with them. Yeah. I find it's kind of crazy that they're like meeting with the Taliban now. But the U.S. may soon be claiming to work with Taliban moderators against Afghan extremists or hand Kabul back to the Taliban. They have no idea what they're doing over there. That just proves it. The bombers that have arrived will be integrated into at least 4 other national defense elements, according to the reports. There are many questions about their deployment, which comes amid shakeups at the U.S. Department of Defense. Christopher C. Miller, the new U.S. Acting Defense Secretary named by U.S. President Donald Trump on November 11th, has been moving things around. Shaking things up, so to speak. He directed the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations to report directly to him in recent days. The change is said to be in line with bolstering the department's efforts to remain ahead in the great power competition with Russia and China. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and please leave a comment down below. God bless you all and your families.